Hi guys, this is Tim from V7 Software Development, and welcome to tutorial number 1 for the Flat Rate Advisor program. Now, assuming you've already installed the program on your desktop or laptop, let's go ahead and double-click the icon and open it up. And here we have our main menu on our home screen. Now what we're going to do now is just a quick overview of the program itself. Now I'd like to mention, as with all of our software, we do include a full user's manual. Right at the top of the screen, just click User's Manual and it'll open up for you. Moving on over to the File menu, we have your standard items. We have a backup feature, restore, set up a password to access the program, import and export, and we'll get into that a little later, remove your license and registration, and exit. Now over at the Edit menu, this will list all your items on your main menu, basically the same items that you have down here, just in the form of a drop-down list. Print menu, that'll take us to our books library, our book settings, and if we'd like to print an index page for our book. Moving over to options, we have screen size. Now what this does, you can run the program in normal mode, which is a floating window as you see here, or you can run it with all screens maximized, which would be more of a full screen version like this. Right now we're going to leave it set on normal mode, and then the program has several color schemes already preloaded. Right now we're on the blue color scheme. Take a look at the green. Burgundy. And we'll put it back to the default blue. Tools menu, we have a print setup option and a compact database. If you're not familiar with compacting a database, we'll go a little more in detail later on with that. Next is the network menu. If you purchase the network version, you would use the network wizard to set up your server and clients. Reset to default, that would reset your network connection. Network troubleshooting. And upgrade to Pro version for networks. So you can upgrade it anytime. If you have the standard version, just go right here and click that. User's manual we covered, and the help menu. Now in the help menu, there are selections for automatic updates. You can set the program to automatically check for updates every time you open it, or you can manually check for updates right now. Again, we have the upgrade to Pro version for networks option here in the help menu as well. A contact option. And the About screen shows you version information. Now I'm going to run through each of these screens very quickly, just to give you a quick view of what it looks like, and then we'll get into more details in future videos. The parts screen. Now here are the parts categories, and within each of these categories we have the individual parts. So we would click the little plus sign to drill down and look at the parts within that category. Standard navigation bar down at the bottom, add new part, delete a part, and some other options that we'll get into later. The build task screen. Now this is where you would take the parts in the database, which are listed here, the same parts we saw on the parts screen. Select the parts you want to build your task, move them down to the grid here, and create your task. Select a category for it, enter minutes. As I said, we'll get more into detail later, but for now let's move on. The edit task screen. This is where you would edit the task that you have created, or the preloaded task. You would go in, select a particular task, and you can edit the items here. Labor and taxes, this is where you set up your columns, your labor factors, and whether or not you want this column to show in your books. Right now we have 3 columns checked. You can have as many as 5 columns in your book. And then we have some options down here for labor, trip, diagnostics, and parts tax rates, and different ways to calculate. Edit categories. These are all your parts categories. You can add, edit, and delete categories as you wish. And you can include them and exclude them from your books when they print, simply by double-clicking, true or false. Next is the book screen. This is kind of the library where you store all of the books you have created. Right now we only have one demo book in here right now. Company, that's our company information. This will print on various pages throughout the program and throughout our books. Markups and margins. Now this is your parts markup. You can use one of two different methods to mark up your parts. You can use a table, or you can use the gross margin method. You just select the type of method you wish to use. Then we have the print setup screen. This will allow you to highlight your columns with different colors. Again, allow you to show or not show certain columns in the books. Select a page heading, enter a subheading, and set a design template or color scheme for the printed pages. And then we have our exit button. And that's it for this quick overview. As I said earlier, we'll get into each of these screens in much more depth in following videos. So thanks for joining me. This has been Tim with V7 Software Development. We'll see you next time.